Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt, for a brief moment, that the universe was staring back? Not with eyes, but with a presence. A quiet, ancient presence that has witnessed everything long before life existed. Tonight, we aren't speaking about stars, galaxies, or the infinite abyss overhead. We are speaking about a stone. A small, unremarkable, charcoal-colored stone drifting through darkness for billions of years. Its name is Bennu. Bennu does not shine. It does not dazzle like a diamond forged in a cosmic furnace. It looks ordinary, rough, fragmented, but beneath its muted exterior lies something extraordinary, a time capsule older than Earth itself. For billions of years, Bennu wandered through the void silent, untouched, unclaimed, until one day, a spacecraft from a tiny blue world approached it. NASA's OSIRIS-REx reached out its mechanical arm and took a handful of ancient dusts and brought it home. No one was prepared for what waited inside, because when scientists opened the capsule and looked closely at those grains smaller than a strand of hair, they did not find emptiness. They did not find randomness. They found the ingredients of creation itself. Sugars essential for life. The very backbone molecules required to build RNA, the first great architect of biology. Glucose, the universal fuel of cells. Ribose, the signature of life's earliest codes. But the story did not end there. Inside Bennu was something the world had never seen, an otherworldly material resembling ancient rubber or primordial resin. Soft once, hardened now. A cosmic polymer forged before planets had names. A mysterious substance scientists call space gum. And woven within these grains was death, the death of stars, supernova dust 6 times more abundant than in any meteorite ever studied. Ashes of giant suns collapsed long ago, whispering that every part of us, our blood, our bones, our breath, was once born in stellar explosions. Bennu is not a rock. It is a message. A letter written across 4 billion years telling us, life is not an accident. It is a continuation, a story bigger than Earth itself. Before we dive deeper into this cosmic revelation, if you want to journey with WowVerse through stories that reshape the way you see reality, consider subscribing. Your support helps us keep exploring the universe's greatest mysteries. Welcome back, traveler of the cosmos. Tonight, we stand together at the threshold of a mystery older than Earth, holding in our hands the smallest pieces of a story too large for a single lifetime to comprehend. And yet, these grains of dust, silent, fragile, easily overlooked, carry an entire universe within them. This is WowVerse, and I'm honored to guide you through a journey where science becomes poetry, and the past becomes a mirror reflecting who we truly are. Imagine the scene, a pristine laboratory glowing under sterile white light. Dozens of scientists gathered around a tiny glass dish. Inside it, not a strange creature, not a shimmering mineral, but something humble, dust, gray, quiet, easily mistaken for ashes from a forgotten fire. And yet the moment their instruments touched it, the room changed. Breath halted, eyes widened. Centuries of scientific theory trembled. Because for the first time in history, humanity was holding untouched material from the earliest days of the solar system, matter that existed before oceans formed, before continents rose, before Earth had a name. You see, Bennu is not just a relic, it is a witness to the birth of planets, a witness to the collapse of stars, a witness to the silent chemistry that would one day ignite into something we call life. And now, you are a witness too. That is the beauty of science. It does not belong only to scholars in lab coats. It belongs to every mind willing to be amazed. If you are here, listening, absorbing each detail with curiosity, then you are part of the same human story that led us to reach out across 200 million miles and touch a piece of our beginning. This journey is more than discovery. It is recognition, a reminder that the atoms forming your heart, your eyes, your thoughts, once drifted through space like Bennu itself, waiting for the right moment to awaken. So, let us continue deeper, not just to learn how life began, but to understand why its story matters. To understand why Bennu matters, we must begin with the question that has haunted humanity since the dawn of thought. Where did life truly come from? Not life as we know it now with its complexity, its consciousness, its endless forms, but the very first spark. The first whisper of organization within chaos, the first bridge between chemistry and biology. For centuries, we imagined life as something Earth crafted alone, born in volcanic pools or lightning-struck oceans. But what if Earth did not start from scratch? What if the raw materials, the essential ingredients, were delivered from beyond, scattered through space, long before our world existed? This is where Bennu shifts the conversation. Because inside this asteroid's dust, scientists discovered more than isolated molecules. They found a pattern, a consistency, a set of chemical signatures that suggest the universe had been preparing the recipe for life long before any planet cooled enough to host oceans. Consider the first revelation. Complex sugars, delicate, easily destroyed, somehow preserved across billions of years. Sugars that form the backbone of RNA, the molecule many scientists believe came before DNA. These are not trivial molecules. They represent the first language life could speak. Then comes the second revelation: fragments of ancient organic material so intricate that they resemble protopolymers, early attempts by nature to assemble larger, more capable structures. They are messy, imperfect, tangled, yet unmistakably purposeful in their complexity. And finally, the third revelation: dust older than the solar system itself. Presolar grains forged in the violent deaths of giant stars, supernova, scattered across space and ultimately woven into the forming solar system. These grains are not mere contaminants. They are storytellers. They carry the fingerprints of stars that lived and died before our sun ignited. When these three elements appear together in one place, in one ancient stone drifting through silence, something becomes clear. Life was not a local accident. It was a cosmic possibility. The universe had been assembling, distributing, and preserving the building blocks of biology long before Earth existed to host them. Bennu is not the beginning of life. It is a reminder that the beginning was never confined to a single world. And so, we move forward not to seek miracles, but to trace the quiet logic of creation written across the cosmos. When scientists placed the Bennu samples beneath their instruments, they were not merely analyzing dust. They were peering into the memory of the universe encoded in carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and fragments of ancient starlight. With every magnification, with every spectral reading, the story grew more astonishing. Bennu was not simply a remnant of the early solar system. It was a mosaic of different eras, different cosmic environments, woven together into a single object small enough to fit in your palm. The first chapter of this mosaic begins with sugar's fragile molecules that should not have survived billions of years in deep space. Yet there they were. Ribose, the central sugar of RNA, was present in unmistakable amounts. This discovery alone could have rewritten textbooks. Ribose is notoriously unstable. Under heat, radiation, or water, it degrades easily, and yet Bennu preserved it, shielded within its minerals like a secret the universe desperately wanted us to uncover. Alongside ribose was glucose, simple, universal, the most fundamental source of cellular energy on Earth. To find both in a single extraterrestrial sample was not just surprising, it was revolutionary. These sugars were not accidents. They were clues, pointing toward a time when the chemistry of life was not confined to one world. But Bennu held more surprises, woven deeper into its structure. As researchers crushed, heated, and analyzed the dust, they discovered something unlike any material found in other meteorites. A strange, once flexible, organic substance, soft when it formed, but hardened across cosmic time. A polymer, but not the kind shaped by human design. It looked chaotic, tangled, irregular, as though nature itself had been experimenting in the dark, testing the boundaries of what organic chemistry could become. Scott Sanford, one of the leading scientists on the OSIRIS-REx team, described it as cosmic gum, a primitive, accidental polymer that could represent one of the earliest steps toward biochemical complexity. Its rich nitrogen and oxygen content suggested interactions with water and heat long ago, but not enough to erase its original character. It was both ancient and adaptive, an organic fossil of chemical evolution. If the sugars revealed possibility, and the polymer revealed experimentation, then the presolar grains revealed ancestry. These grains, microscopic crystals older than our sun, were formed in the final breaths of dying stars. Some came from red giants shedding their outer layers. Others came from supernova explosions, so violent they altered the periodic table itself. Their isotopic signatures were unmistakable. These grains did not belong to the solar system, they predated it, and Bennu contained them in quantities 6 times greater than any meteorite previously studied. It was as if Bennu had swept through a region of the solar system's birth cloud thick with stellar ash, collecting the remains of ancient suns into its growing body. Holding Bennu's dust, scientists felt they were holding a genealogy chart of the universe. Here was matter forged in dying stars, mixed with matter formed in floating molecular clouds, combined with substances shaped on Bennu's parent body in the earliest days of the solar system. It was a chemical palimpsest, layers of history written over one another, but never erased. Yet Bennu's story becomes even more remarkable when we consider what should have happened but didn't. Water once flowed through its parent asteroid, heating the minerals and catalyzing reactions. Normally, such processes would destroy fragile organics and obliterate presolar grains, but Bennu contained pockets, microenvironments that escaped this transformation. These pockets acted like time capsules within a time capsule, preserving materials so old that it carried the literal signature of stars that lived and died before Earth existed. Nature had created tiny sanctuaries for ancient matter, allowing them to endure when everything around them changed. And then comes the philosophical weight of the discovery. For the first time, humanity held physical proof that the building blocks of life were not confined to Earth, nor were they rare. They were widespread, common, distributed. The universe was not stingy with its chemistry. It was generous. It seeded the early solar system with ingredients, like a cosmic baker scattering flour across a counter, letting each world take what it could. Bennu was not a singular anomaly. It was a representative, a glimpse into a much broader truth. RNA components existed beyond Earth. Organic polymers could form in icy, airless environments. Ancient stardust survived planetary birth and planetary death. Bennu did not show us the origins of life. It showed us the conditions that made life inevitable. When you step back and see all the evidence together, a striking realization emerges. The universe is not random chaos. It is a place where complexity strives to arise, where chemistry leans toward life every chance it gets. Bennu is silent, but the message it carries is loud. Life did not happen against the odds. It happened because the odds were stacked in its favor. Every grain of Bennu is a line of cosmic poetry. Every molecule is a clue. Every preserved fragment is a whisper from the dawn of existence. And as scientists looked at it, some with trembling hands, they understood something profound. This was not merely research. It was communion with the past. This was the universe telling its story. There is a moment when studying Bennu, when science becomes something else, something quieter, more intimate, almost spiritual. Because beneath the data, beneath the spectroscopy and isotopic ratios, lies a truth the universe has been trying to tell us for billions of years. Life is not an exception. Life is the universe expressing itself. Think about it. The sugars found in Bennu are not Earth's invention. The organic polymers are not the products of biology, they are its precursors. The presolar grains, forged in the dying breaths of long-gone stars, carry within them the seeds of complexity. And woven through all these discoveries is a profound message. The building blocks of life are universal, not rare, not local, not exclusive to Earth. They are scattered like cosmic ash across stellar nurseries, drifting through space, settling on asteroids, comets, and worlds, waiting for oceans to form. If life is a flame, then Bennu shows us that the universe has been sprinkling sparks everywhere. This forces us to rethink our place in the cosmos. For centuries, humanity has grappled with a deep loneliness, the idea that life might have been a lucky accident, a single fragile occurrence in an indifferent universe. But Bennu challenges that fear. It suggests that life is not fragile at all. It is persistent, emergent, inevitable, when the right ingredients meet the right conditions. The universe is not silent. It is generative. It builds. It recycles. It experiments. It repeats patterns across time and space, until, somewhere, somehow, consciousness opens its eyes, and that leads to another realization, a human one. You, the person listening to this, are not separate from this cosmic story. You are its continuation. The atoms making up your blood, your skin, your breath, were once suspended in the explosions of ancient suns. They traveled across light years, were woven into asteroids, planets, oceans, trees, and eventually into you. So when you ask, where do I come from? The answer is not simply Earth. It is not merely biology. It is the universe itself. Life, then, is not a miracle of chance. It is a tendency, a direction, a quiet insistence written into the fabric of chemistry. Bennu reveals a universe that wants to create, wants to evolve, wants to awaken. A universe where the line between matter and meaning is thinner than we ever imagined. And that is the gift of philosophy. Hidden inside a grain of ancient dust, you are not an observer of the cosmos. You are the cosmos, briefly becoming aware of itself. Every great cosmic story contains a paradox, something that defies expectation, something that challenges the neat logic of science. Bennu is no exception, because as researchers examined its ancient dust, they realized something astonishing. Much of what survived should not have survived at all. Bennu's parent body, the larger asteroid from which Bennu broke off once, held liquid water flowing through cracks and pores. Water, the source of life, is also its destroyer. It shatters delicate organics, erases chemical history, dissolves fragile sugars, and reshapes minerals beyond recognition. The heat generated during those early transformations should have wiped Bennu's primitive signatures clean, and yet, it didn't instead. Scattered throughout its interior were pockets, sanctuaries where ancient materials had escaped alteration. Islands of purity inside oceans of transformation. These pockets preserved the earliest organic compounds, the precious presolar grains, and delicate chemical structures that could easily have been erased by water, heat, or time. It is as if Bennu held its breath through the storm, protecting the fragments that mattered most. This unexpected preservation reveals something profound about the universe. Even in destruction, there is intention. Even in chaos, there is memory. The parent asteroid experienced upheaval, heating, fracturing, chemical alteration, yet life's ingredients endured. Not everywhere, not uniformly, but enough to carry the story forward. Enough to survive billions of years. Enough to reach Earth and whisper, "This is where you began." Even more remarkable, these preserved pockets held a diversity of presolar grains, evidence of multiple ancient stars that contributed their ashes to the early solar system. That means Bennu is not the child of one star, but of many. A collage of cosmic ancestry. Picture this. Across the vastness of space, a magnificent star collapses in a supernova, scattering its essence like seeds. Those seeds drift for millions of years until they merge with a forming planetary system. Some become planets, some become moons, and some remain in small bodies like Bennu, waiting quietly for billions of years until a curious species uncovers them. The twist is clear. What we thought would destroy history actually protected it. What we believed fragile proved resilient. And in that resilience lies a metaphor for every life form, every civilization, every individual. Sometimes the most important parts of us are shaped and preserved not in moments of calm, but in the storms we survive. If Bennu has taught us anything, it is this: the origins of life are not mysteries locked behind walls. We have simply forgotten how to listen. Bennu is not remarkable because it contains rare material. It is remarkable because it preserved the ordinary ingredients of life in their original form. Ingredients that existed everywhere, scattered across the newborn solar system, waiting for the right world to receive them. Earth was not chosen. Earth was simply ready. And through that realization comes a deeper truth. Life is not fragile. It is persistent. It emerges wherever time, chemistry, and opportunity intersect. The universe is not indifferent to life. It is fertile with its potential. But the lesson reaches beyond science. Bennu reminds us that everything has a beginning, often humble, often overlooked, often carried quietly through storms. The most powerful forces shaping our existence are not dramatic moments, but small accumulations, tiny choices, tiny changes, tiny sparks of curiosity that, over time, create something extraordinary. We, like Bennu, carry our own pockets of preserved truth, pieces of our story untouched by chaos. And sometimes, returning to them is the only way to understand who we really are. The story of Bennu is far from over. Scientists are still unraveling its layers, still deciphering its ancient messages, still discovering what it means for the story of life itself. And as long as the universe keeps offering clues, we will keep seeking them. If this journey awakened your curiosity, your wonder, or your sense of belonging in the cosmos, consider subscribing. Your support helps us continue exploring the mysteries that shape who we are and who we may yet become.